Welcome to this Progressus Advanced Projects video on the Microsoft Business Central sales pricing experience, specifically related to item pricing. In this video, we'll cover the setup of prices and will demonstrate transaction entry around these price changes. Progressus Advanced Projects has aligned our pricing functionality for items with the new Microsoft Business Central sales pricing experience functionality. However, we'll continue to use the Progressus Advanced Projects logic for resources and expenses. After you record special prices and line discounts for sales and purchases, Business Central calculates the best price on sales and purchase documents and on project and item journal lines. The best price is the lowest price with the highest line discount allowed on a given date. Business Central calculates best prices when it adds unit prices and the line discount percentages on document and journal lines. Microsoft has not yet included certain functionality with the item price enhancements. Progressus Advanced Projects has not enhanced the standard functionality in the following areas. Project journal pricing is not based on vendor pricing. Planning lines are only based on item card, not vendor or customer prices. Progressus Advanced Projects did enhance the Microsoft pricing for the following scenario. Budget entries will use vendor pricing if the item has a vendor designated in the vendor number on the item card. Replenishment fast tabs. The Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central Sales Pricing Experience feature can be enabled through Feature Management for Progressus Advanced Projects with the Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central 20 release. However, there are some important factors to consider. If you enable the Microsoft pricing feature, it cannot be disabled. Also, note that the Sales Pricing Experience feature only applies to items. Resources and expenses pricing continue to use the Advanced Projects pricing methodology. Let's take a look at where and how you would enable the new Microsoft Business Central Sales Pricing Experience feature. To enable the Microsoft Sales Pricing Experience feature, search for Feature Management and open it. Then search for Feature Update, New Sales Pricing Experience, and change the Enabled For field from None to All Users. Once you enable the Microsoft Sales Pricing Enhancement feature, you'll have access to these new pages for pricing, and you'll no longer have access to the Progressus Advanced Projects item pricing page. The Sales Price List. Use the Sales Price List to create pricing plans for customers. You can create a pricing plan for all customers, a specific customer, a customer price group, a customer discount group, a campaign, or a contact. Use the Assign To type to select which of these options for which the price plan is being created. If you select anything other than all customers, for the Assign To type in the header, use the Assign To type field in the grid to select the specific entity. For example, if you select Customer as the Assign To type in the header, next select which customer applies to this pricing plan in the Assign To type field in the grid. Use the Sales Project Price List to create pricing plans for projects or tasks. Use the Assign To type field to select all projects, one project, or one task to associate with this pricing plan. If you select anything other than all jobs, for the Assign To type in the header, use the Assign To type field in the grid to select the specific entity. For example, if you select Job as the Assign To type, next select which job or project applies to this pricing plan in the Assign To type field in the grid. Use the Purchase Price List page to create pricing plans for products that you buy from your vendors. Use the Assign To type field to select all vendors, one vendor, a campaign, or a contact to associate with this pricing plan. If you select anything other than all vendors, for the Assign To type in the header, use the Assign To type field in the grid to select the specific entity. For example, if you select Vendor as the Assign To type in the header, next select which vendor applies to this pricing plan in the Assign To type field in the grid. How do pricing plans work? First, create a pricing plan. Then, enter transactions with items in the sales invoice, purchase invoice, or budget journal. The system validates whether what is entered meets the criteria of an active pricing plan. For example, starting date, ending date, item, vendor, minimum quantity, currency, etc. If what's entered meets the criteria of an active pricing plan, the price or discount is applied in the line. If there's no match, the direct unit price, or cost if a purchase transaction, is taken from the item card. Pricing plan hierarchies define the priority that's used to find the appropriate sales or purchase price. These are the existing priorities for the Microsoft pricing plans. Next, we'll look at entering sales prices, sales invoices, and budget entries. We'll start by taking a look at setting up the prices. There are many ways to get to pricing. You can search on Sales Price List, or select it from a shortcut if you've created one. This page is the Sales Price List, not the Sales Project Price List. This page only allows you to assign prices based on customer. You can do all customers, customer, customer price group, customer price discount group, campaign, or contact. Note that this page is the Sales Price List page, not the Sales Project Price List, which bases discounts on jobs and job tasks. The fields available in the grid are based on what you select in the Assign To type field in the header. For example, if you pick All Customers, the Assign To field is disabled. The values at the top of the page determine what's available to be entered in the line. For example, if you select Customer, the Assign To type is enabled, and you can select a specific customer number in the grid that will apply to this pricing plan. If you pick All Customers, then the Assign To type in the grid is disabled, so it will create a pricing plan for all customers. Again, the options in the grid are dependent on the values you enter in the header. For the View columns, you can enter a pricing plan for only price, only discounts, or both price and discount. If you don't have prices defined in the Sales Projects Price List, then all the pricing decisions would be made by the Sales Price List. Next, let's look at the Sales Project Price List. The options here are a little different. The options are all related to jobs and job tasks. If you want to enter a special price for a job task, you can change the Assign To type in the line, and then another column appears where you can enter a job number and the task number. You can set your prices to start and end at certain dates, currency codes, etc. If you're entering a price, the Allow line Discounts controls if any discounts would be applied from the price list. Regardless of the setting, currently our tasks discounts will still apply, whether or not the Allow line Discounts field is selected. It doesn't look at this field. Once you change the sales lines, you can use the Verify lines to verify that the pricing lines you entered are unique. For example, that you don't have more than one price plan set up for a certain project, item, starting and ending date, etc. The Verify lines verifies that the pricing lines are unique. You can also set the status on a price list and make it draft or inactive, and it won't be used. The price plan must be set to active and verified before the pricing plan takes effect. Some of the other ways you can get to the price lists would be from the item card. For example, you can access it from the items list, prices and discounts menu, and select sales prices, and it will display everything from both sales price and sales project price lists. In this example, the lines with the job number in the price list code come from the sales project price list, and the ones below come from the regular sales price list, based on customers. We have added access to these pricing lists under the Role Center, Actions, Items, and Expenses Setup menu. The three price lists can be found here. There's also another page called Prices Overview, which gives you one centralized place to view all your purchase prices, sales prices, and sales project pricing plans. You can use the filters at the top of the page to narrow results. This page is very useful to review when you'd like to better understand why a certain price was assigned. Now let's do a couple of transactions. We'll do a sales invoice first. We'll start with a customer that, in the regular sales price list, has a price established of $276 for item 1896-S on sales between January 1st, 2022 and December 31st, 2022, with a minimum quantity of 1 that has to be purchased to get the discount price. In this example, we won't enter a project first. Initially, when you enter an item on the line, it defaults the unit cost from the item card until you enter a quantity, because the quantity determines the price that will be selected. In this case, the minimum quantity of 1 is required to get the discounted price of $276. The price changes to $276 as soon as the minimum quantity is entered. Next, we'll look at entering a sales invoice, which has a project, PGS002 associated with it. And for this one, the sales project price list says that the discount will be available with a minimum quantity of 2, and will select a unit price of $200 for that same item. If quantity of 1 is entered, the price is $276, which came from the sales price list customer level. But because we've entered a project and a project task that has a sales project price list with a minimum quantity of 2 and a task number, when we enter 2, the price will now change down from $276 to $200. This comes from the sales project price list setup for this project or task, minimum quantity and the item. Next, we'll take a look at creating an entry in the budget journal. We'll use the same project and task code and select item as the type and enter a quantity again of 1. Again, the price starts out with the unit price from the item card. But once we enter a quantity of 2, the price changes from the sales project price list and changes the unit price to $200. The purchase pricing list works very much like the sales pricing list. Purchase price lists are assigned by vendor, campaigns, or contacts. You can use the View Columns For and select Price, Discount, or Price and Discount. It works pretty much the same as the sales pricing list, except that the pricing is based on vendor instead of customer. Let's look at entering a purchase invoice. In the purchase price list, there's a discount for vendor $10,000 with a price of $295 with a minimum quantity of 20 for item 1896-S for the dates January 1st, 2022 to December 31st, 2022. So if the quantity of 1 is entered, it pulls the price from the item card. When the quantity is changed to 20, the unit price changes to $295. And there's also a 10% line discount from the price and discount plan on this item. If a quantity of 2 is entered, the unit price changes to $300 because it no longer qualifies for the price and discount plan with the 10% line discount. This is pulling from the special price setup for all vendors for this item. For more information on the Microsoft Business Central sales pricing experience, see the links included here. Thanks for viewing this video on the Microsoft Sales Pricing Experience and Progressus Advanced Projects.